headlines around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. On ATN.
Good morning and welcome to another amazing day at the Atlantic Television Network. This is Atlantic Blowout, and it's a syndicated live program of the network that features chit-chatting and conversations on special interest topics on news events and stories through correspondent report, expert opinion, and stakeholders analysis. A quick peep into the stories for today. We'll take this one from Rivers State. NSCDC arrests 9 for suspected illegal bunkering. And from Ondo State, there was no brutalization in Akure raid. This was stated by the EFCC. And on CBN, NAS urged to investigate mass sack of staff. And on governance, Interior Minister calls for harmonization of NIN and TIN. For fuel subsidy, NNPCL denies alleged inflated fuel subsidy payments. And on fuel smuggling, Nigeria is losing billions. This was stated by the Customs CG. We'll introduce our guests and delve straight into the stories after this break. Please stay with us.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back. We'll introduce our guests right away. Before we go straight to the stories, we have with us in the studio Chief Magnus Edo, and he is a traditional ruler and also a public affairs analyst who loves to talk for development, who cares about his country. and likes to see the changes. Good morning, Chief. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
Welcome again.
Thank you.
All right, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, as the NSCDC, has arrested 9 suspects for engaging in illegal oil activities in a forest boundary between Rivers and Abia. A statement by the Corps spokesperson, Babawale Afolabi, on Thursday in Abuja stated that the arrest was made by the Commandant General's Special Intelligence Squad following an intelligence tip-off. He said that the suspects were arrested for their alleged involvement in pipeline vandalism, operation of illegal oil refineries, and crude oil theft. They were caught in the act of illegally refining stolen crude extracted from a vandalized oil wellhead. In addition was the discovery of well-constructed illegal refineries. Note that where crude is being siphoned through vandalized wellheads with large hoses connected to transmit crude to cooking ovens. Now, according to him, some of the exhibits that were recorded or recovered were generator sets. They also recovered pumping machines, metal and plastic buckets, cutlasses, saws, welding machines, galvanized metal pipes, different heavy-duty hoses. AJ illegally processed in cooking ovens were also one of those exhibits, and he said that, according to him, the investigations are on in order to discover the sponsors of these suspects, as well as to unravel the level of involvement of each of the suspects. And it's also important uncovering the sponsors, because sometimes when you look at the amounts, especially having in mind that it had a capacity of over 60,000 liters of this particular product, and that tells you that there's so much going into that particular act and activity. All right, let's get to hear from you, Chief. What do you think about this one?
For me, I think preventing people to vandalize government-owned oil facilities.
Okay.
It is something that the Civil Defense Corps should take it as a serious mandate why the agency was established, or the security outfit was established. Because for me, I think if they work directly with the traditional institutions, communities that has pipeline right-of-ways, they might have prevented them from establishing or vandalizing any pipeline.
If they work directly with
the traditional institutions
okay.
in each of these communities, because what they worked on, like they said, they based on intelligence. And at what point they started mobilizing all this heavy equipment to sites and start having the process of refining illegally of products, Nigerian products. I think if they work with the locals, with the communities people, they might have given them earlier information to prevent them from establishing those illegal bunkering sites.
Okay, I understand what you've said about
yes.
the NSCDC working with the locals now.
Yes.
But what about the locals raising alarm when they see cases like this? Everybody knows that these things or these activities, time and time again, have been told us that they are illegal. So what about the locals being the ones to raise the alarm when they see cases like this?
I think when you raise alarm, it depends on who is responding to the alarm you have raised. Because, for instance, like they said that they're working on intelligence, I also believe it must have been concerned citizens that must have raised this alarm. But my suggestion will always be that let's prevent them not to have access to our pipeline. Remember, federal government is paying huge amount of money to some people to monitor and then as in kind of surveillance contracts. So if they are doing their diligence, they have worked very perfectly. I think vendors will not have a place to tamper with oil facilities. I think they need to do more by engaging the communities, owners of the land into the surveillance job, because you cannot be coming to my community to do a kind of surveillance job and I'm not involved directly not when there is problem. You know, the first target are always traditional institutions. The first target, if there is problem, you will see they will call the chiefs. But when there is money, they will not call anybody. They will not call the chiefs. They will not involve the chiefs in signing of any contract of any kind. But what I'm saying is that we condemn every act of vandalism or in any part of the country, either in River State or in Abia State or anywhere they locate themselves. But I think the federal government can still do more, setting satellites on their facility, because this is the major source of revenue in this country, oil. So if they protect, you must protect what is giving, sustaining the economy of this country. And they have every facilities where they can monitor what is happening. They can stay in the confines of their houses and monitor what is happening in most of the major pipeline that is transmitting crude in this country. So they need to do more. Not tomorrow you will see another set of young people being paraded that they are being caught in the act, which I'm condemning in it.
All right. Let's come to the traditional institution now. How much are the traditional rulers? You're a traditional ruler. How much are the traditional rulers doing to put an end to this particular illegal activity that has eaten so deep into our society?
You know very well that no traditional ruler will allow. No, these vandals affect our lands to start with.
Okay.
It destroyed the land. It destroyed the aqua system. It destroyed everything. So we are talking about food security. And you know, the spill is not that immediate environment that the operation is taking place. It goes beyond that place, because if it gets to the water, it keeps flowing, we don't have fish, and the danger is too huge. So I think we are doing our best. We are doing our best. But remember, when we are still advocating that the role of a traditional ruler should be included in the Nigeria Constitution, because for now, there's no role of traditional institutions in the Nigeria Constitution. And we believe, and the outcry of other civil society to ensure that the role of traditional rulers are being captured in the ongoing constitutional amendment. I think that will enable us to do more. Even as that, you know, we are harmless. You know, you stay in the community, you are there every day with different kinds of people, you are there to receive visitors, you are there to, so I think the government need to empower more, look at the community-based leadership and see how they can encourage the leadership at the grassroots.
Okay, you stated that they're doing their best. I'd like to know how much they're doing. Let's look at the communities now. You already told us at the beginning that if the NSCDC decides to work hand in hand with the traditional rulers or the traditional institution better, they would definitely let them know of these activities early enough.
Yes.
You made reference to this particular story saying, how come all the while when these equipments were being moved and shipped to site, nobody knew until they have been operating for as long as they have been operating before the NSCDC found out? It means that from your statements, the community knows when these things are happening.
There is nobody that will from heaven to assess any community without an insider. There is no way. Because the land belongs to somebody. The oil well, somebody is having that special contract of surveillance job awarded to somebody to monitor that particular oil where they sabotage. Do you understand? And we'll be talking about series of oil spillage, like the environment where I come from. We are still battling with cleanup, with Ogoni cleanup. We are still battling with restoring the land to the natural status. So there's nobody that I don't think there's no traditional rulers. I don't think that can
are not aware.
That will be aware and not raise alarm.
Oh wow! So you're saying they're not. Sometimes they're not aware.
Sometimes how will you be aware and you keep quiet when that place is going to destroy everything you have?
How can the traditional ruler not be aware of activities in his community?
Sometimes you know, like we are in these facilities now, something can be going on at the downstairs and we are upstairs. It only take your intelligence, only take how you build your territory, how you build your empire to get swift information at any time. But not everybody. It also involves financial, it needs money. Because those that will be giving you their information, they need to recharge their phones. So when you are being neglected, nobody pays you just because you are a community leader. Everything will boil down to you. You get, everything comes to your head because you're a community leader. Nobody pays you. Nobody takes care of you. Nobody thinks about you. You don't even exist in the eyes of other people. But you are doing your best that your community is saved. When it comes to security informations, you use your money. If you call police for some cases, you spend your money to call police. You spend your money for their fueling. You spend, and it's not supposed to be like that. In some cases, it's not supposed to be. So the civil defense corps, they should do more, work directly with community leaders. This will save them from all these ones they are just showing us. And again, more of destroying the camp is another thing that needs international best practices, because look at the amount of crude already stolen. Okay, the means of destroying it, they are also going to burn it. If they burn it, they are also destroying what we have prevented. The land will be destroyed, the environment will be polluted more. So these are things that they need experts. These are things that they need all stakeholders' hands to be on deck to ensure that we prevent and protect the facilities of government that passes through our environment.
So you're saying sometimes when the traditional rulers want to reach out to these security agencies, they have to spend.
That's
why sometimes they don't say anything.
No, you spend. Could
that be one of the reasons they just are you stating that as one of the reasons they probably do not reach out to let these security agencies know what is happening in the country?
When you are handicapped, how do you reach out? When you don't have money. If I don't have money to come here, how will I be accessing this place? If I don't have money to pay for transport fare.
Have there been any attempts to reach out to the NSCDC and then they found out that they had to pay?
The collaboration is there, but I need them to do more. We have collaboration with all security agencies as traditional rulers. We have that collaborations, but I think they need to do more. Reach out. It's not only when there is time for problem. Advocacy should be carried out. Are you understanding me? Advocacy should be carried out. Restive youth are everywhere. These youth are looking for source of livelihood illegally, which we are not supporting. But how are you taking this youth out of the forest? What are the programs of government ensuring that these youth are being taken? If you close this site, in the next 2 minutes, they locate another site elsewhere. And these are things that we need to prevent by working in synergy, harnessing our strength, harnessing our mind that this country belongs to all of us. Because when you think that the oil does not belong to you, belong to federal government, that is where you make it wrong. If you believe that that oil belongs to you, and the outcome of the oil should be used to develop the communities. If the community is well developed and everybody is staying in the community, I don't think anybody can just invade into a community where people are residing. Some of this community, because of the activities, illegal activities of oil bunkers, so people cannot, you can't stay because there's different kinds of diseases out of it. You can't be living there. The environment is polluted. Your head is health. You have health challenges, cancer everywhere, and different illness.
Even with all of these, we really haven't seen so much in the news about communities crying out and saying there's a particular bunkering site in our community, and we are calling on the government to come and do something about it. We really haven't seen so much of that in the news.
But that is what I'm saying. And that is what I'm saying. You don't just come out and talk. You need the people that have been saddled with the responsibility of handling this thing. And that is what every community are doing. Okay. You reach out to the security agencies that are saddled with these responsibilities. You don't need to come out because it is not in their power. You can't go there and invade the site. You can't arrest them. Of course. You lack the power to arrest. Course. But you raise alarm, which I think because of the alarm, they might have raised. That is how these ones
so you're feeling like maybe it's the community that raised this alarm that called the attention of the NSCDC.
Are they spirits?
We want to see more of that. We want to see more communities getting involved. We want to see more traditional rulers and then the community as a whole getting involved. Let's go on a short break right now. When we return, the conversation continues. We have other stories for you. Please stay with us.
Every day, our lives are changed by history,
We are one people, all of us.
leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Driver, why you just dey jack us up and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask oh?
Because this road where they see so, it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so e no dey, light o usai, the infrastructure nko e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, well everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No vex, now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. We call you back.
That behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently, make Nigeria for better.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old since.
We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer na house, I supposed pay that one. You remember say me I tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy am na.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time? Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Good to have you back. On to the next story now. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has confirmed it has a CCTV footage of the recent raid on a Yahoo Boys party in Akure in Ondo State. EFCC spokesman Dele Oyewale revealed this during an interview with newsmen in Abuja on Monday. He dismissed allegations of brutality and injury during the raid. Oyewale explained that the footage shows the operatives' arrival at the party, the arrest of the 127 suspects, and the retrieval of evidence without any incidents of brutality or damage to property. He clarified that the raid was intelligence-driven and targeted at suspected fraudsters, contrary to reports of indiscriminate arrest and harassment. Now, he has also said that the executive chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, said clearly that the commission will no longer be undertaking raids, but there is no law enforcement agency that will tell you it will no longer engage in sting operations. According to the EFCC, the operatives did not go in the night. They went in the early hours of the day, and it was a Yahoo party. And our intelligence, or their intelligence, showed that all the 127 suspects arrested were in the party. Nobody was brutalized, nobody was wounded. They were only asked to submit their phones. That is all. And most of the girls they are talking about are in their Ibadan office right now to reclaim their phones. And it was actually the manager of the club, or one of the clubs, who's also a suspect. That was the person who mandated his ICT staff to remove the CCTV, and when they did, he handed it over to the operatives. Now, yesterday, we heard reports that the EFCC, it was actually NANS now, they were the ones complaining about the brutalization by the EFCC to some of their students of these universities. And they accused the EFCC of brutalizing the students, both male and female. And they made reference to the way the females were handled during that particular raid in Akure. And according to our discussion yesterday, you know, we were talking about it yesterday, and this is a development to this particular story. Now, the EFCC has come to say, no, we did not brutalize anybody. In fact, the ladies they are talking about, they just came to pick up their phones. And the only thing we said was for them to submit their phones. That is all for us to check. 127 suspects were arrested during that raid. Now, let's get to hear from Dandy Loveday. We have Dandy Loveday, who has joined us on this conversation. He's also a public affairs analyst. Welcome, Dandy.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's get your thoughts on this story.
Okay. EFCC raided what's it called? A party, Yahoo party.
Yes, they said, according to their intelligence report, it was a Yahoo party.
First of all, how did we get to this extent of having a Yahoo party? Yahoo party.
Maybe the Yahoo boys will have to tell us how they got there.
Activities and all that. And then, on the part of the EFCC, trying to raid such young person's party without saying there was the other persons did not retaliate. The person did not say no, do and don't do, and then they did not also try to use force. You know, that's not also possible. There's no how you just walk into a party where you have young men and women ranging to 120 or thereabout, and then you just come in and say, everybody submit your phone, they just give you your phone. I'm trying to picture a scenario. Give me your phone, they bring phone. Nobody will say, what are you doing? And none of them will just disobey, and then the EFCC will just say, okay, give me your phone. They took the phone and then went on. Those are stories. So the EFCC is also trying to be on the safe side, trying to defend themselves.
But they are not just defending themselves without evidence. They said they have the CCTV footage.
They didn't also make it public.
And according to them, they said in the footage, it was just this scenario that they painted.
Okay, but whatever it is, the fact here is that the EFCC must carry out their job. And every move they made to get their job done, I think is left with the EFCC to say this was the way we took to get our job done. But for a group of persons to get involved in a party and target Yahoo party, a public party, what do you expect the anti-grav agencies to do?
They didn't tag the party as a Yahoo party.
Okay.
It was the EFCC that said from their intelligence report, they got some reports that there is a Yahoo party going on somewhere.
Yeah.
And they decided to go there. Yes, let's hear from you, Chief.
I think the society, the way we are going is completely wrong. If you check, these are completely young people that are supposed to be in the higher institution, taking their books seriously, and they indulge themselves in illegality. Like Andy have said, you cannot miss young people number up to more than 100, and you think there will not be any kind of force to get them arrested. And again, my concern should not be that they were arrested, but my concern should always be that what has led the society to this level, that we see quick source of earning as a source of living. We see quick earn money, quick source of money as a source of living, which is completely wrong for me, because they say no pain, no gain. So, and the young girls that they're talking about, they should dig more and then arrest more of them without being in a party. I think that should have been the best way to go after our children that are indulging in these ritual acts. You arrest them without them being in the party, because they already have the intelligence. The EFCC are saying that they arrived there in the morning hour. Okay? They arrived there in the morning based on their intelligence. So if they don't want it to be so noise, they don't want noise about it, you can still track them to their schools, you can still track them to their houses, you can still track them to on the road, anywhere. If actually they have gotten an intelligence that these are young people that are indulging in illegality, being a fraudster is against the law of this country, because we don't know whom they may have defrauded. You don't know whether I am also a victim. You can just be here getting multiple alerts coming from your phone. It's the activities of these children. And sometimes they even defraud their parents. The money the parents will have used to pay their school fees. If they have access to it, they will still take it. And what do they do with it? They go and lavish it in a party like this kind. So let me commend the EFCC to have got an intelligence that something like this is going on. And I will still commend them to go after these people and arrest more of them, so that the society will be a peaceful place.
All right, how did we even get here? That's a big question now, because Royal Chief has stated that sometimes they could even defraud their family, defraud their parents, according to him, of their school fees. And he kept saying these children are children. That part was kind of funny for me. Yes, Loveday, how did we get here?
That's also an issue to border on. But sometimes you see these children, these persons are, should I even call them children? These youths, the activities are, these days, they're not even hidden.
Yeah.
And as a parent, you just see your children coming back from school and they have so much money. They have cars, they are throwing money all around. And as a parent, you're not asking. You're not asking. And instead, you're enjoying the wealth. A child is sent to school. When I went to school, I know what I passed through. To even get up to 100 now sometimes is hard. But it's also, that should also tell us how far the society is deteriorating. in the sense that at this level, people are struggling and the crime is rising. People are struggling to make a living, and in this angle, they are defrauding people who are also struggling to make a living. So things are going bad. Even the security agencies also have to rise. If they are not, if we don't also have security agencies that are involved. So the government also have to look deeply, provide jobs for these youths, get people engaged in doing one or two things. In fact, as you're here, you can't even go and do anything outside because you're here. So if these youths are engaged in meaningful activities, are engaged in one job or the other, I think most of these activities will be minimized.
Some of them are students. Isn't that enough engagement?
When you go to advanced countries, you can be a student and you're still working. In fact, while you're rushing out of lecture, you're going back to work. At that stage, do you have...
The graduates are even looking for jobs.
That is the condition. That is the condition.
The graduates have not found jobs.
That's the condition we find ourselves in this country. And that's why I said the government have to rise up. Provide job opportunities for those who have graduated. Provide jobs for those who are still in school. Even what about those who have not even gone to school? Provide jobs for them. Let everybody get involved in production. And the economy is going bad because we are not even doing more. We are not producing. The manpower activities are wasting. So there is the government need to look into channel their activities, channel their policies, channel governance towards this angle to be able to curb this menace.
All right. What else do you think we can do aside providing jobs? Is it really about the jobs, even though you cannot really take that out of the equation? You can't take the jobs out of the equation. But you cannot also take the fact that this young people these days feel like, first of all, they say school is a scam. You can make money without going to school. And secondly, they're not really interested in thinking, so that's the people who are involved in this. And let's not also forget that these are suspects. Investigations are still on. They have not been, the court has not called them that they're guilty yet, all right? So let's have that in mind. But let's also look at any other thing that the government can do or the society can do at this point to put an end to this menace that is eating so deep into the society.
I think our family value, we need to look at our family value and the way we raise our children. I was with a friend a few days ago, and then I said I called you, and then your child picked the call. He said yes, that the child was doing tapping. I said, I don't understand. Is it as an assignment? He said there's something they call tapping, that the child is normally use his phone for tapping. I said that is what that tapping will lead the child to somewhere else. So I tried to educate his mind, you know. For him, he never knew that what the child was doing is illegal. It's illegality, it's practicing all these things we are talking about. So I started defining tapping to my understanding to him. So when he got home, he was like, so that was what you are doing? And his side was like, who told you? You know, I was invited to the house, and I talked to the child that the group of people you are moving with, they are leading you to astray. They are leading you to the path of destruction. Don't follow them. And the child, no, I started doing another kind of rehabilitating his mindset, telling him the dangers involved in what he's doing. So I think the family value, we need to look at our family value, because at the end of the day, these children, you know, like there are some homes that children doesn't do anything. They believe that everything is ready, and at the end of the day, they want to live that lifestyle. Yeah. So children like why I call them children, they're my children, because as a traditional ruler, I see everybody as a subject, either you are from my community or not. So I still call them children. So it is our duty as community people, it's our duty of the government to continue to preach this part of don't do this, it is a crime. We continue to show them the right path to follow. Even some parents might have also indulged in this. So how will you correct a child when you are also doing it? Because you believe everybody is fighting poverty. Yes. Everybody is struggling for one way or the other to keep you living. Yesterday, where I live in my environment, a woman took her life, and because she felt that there is no worth living, and she drowned in the water. When somebody was trying to rescue her, she now lied to the person that, no, I'm not doing it again, I'm doing it to a church, because there's a church close by there. And the church was not in any service as of yesterday. And the person is saying, where are you going? Say, I'm going to the church. Before we realize, they did 30 minutes, she's dead. She drowned in the water. That the life is not worth living. So things are hard, but that does not push, that cannot push people into doing things that is illegal. So I think the family value is what we need to look at.
All right. Let's look at this story now. The National Assembly has been asked to investigate the recent dismissal of some staff of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to understand the rationale behind the mass sacking of staff. The bank is also asked to rescind its decision and reinstate the sacked personnel as their sack did not follow established procedures for staff reduction as laid out in its HR manual and best practices worldwide. The North Central Coordinator, Youth Wing of the Conference of Ethnic Communities Development Association, Mr. Paul Dekete, in a statement issued in Jos on Sunday, raised concerns about what he termed as the alarming retrenchment of workers. The statement said the National Assembly should investigate the CBN to understand the rationale behind the mass sacking and the criteria that was used. The CBN must follow established procedures for staff reduction as laid out in its HR manual and best practices worldwide. The insensitive termination letter should be withdrawn and replaced with more appropriate documentation that reflects the employee's work records. I don't know if you've been following the news lately. Within the past few months, you keep seeing CBN lays off this amount of workers. CBN lays off another amount of workers. If you've been reading and following up those stories, and sometimes it begs the question, who is saying something about this, and what is the procedure towards laying off a staff, and is that the procedure that was followed? And now from this investigation by this particular organization, they have said that the procedure was not duly followed according to what was laid out on their HR manual. So yes, Dandy, let's get your thoughts on this.
CBN, unfortunately the CBN have not, the investigation has not been carried out for us to know why the mass sack or mass sacking in CBN. And then it's also unfortunate to be hearing that people are being sacked this kind of economy. Why are you sacking them? Okay, last time, I don't know if I can get it correctly, where the CBN was trying to explain that those are the stars that were involved in corruption activities and all that that has bedeviled the CBN. But if not so, whatever it is, I don't even know how many government officials, the ministers and all that have been sacked for being asked. Even the other person that was even relieved, say it's on suspension, was not sacked. That shared among 50 billion and all that. And all that. We are not even hearing anything about that. You're sacking people without nothing, no compensation. How do they survive? Not even like in Nigeria. Not even like you're sacking them now, they're going for another job. So what's the hope? They should go and join armed robbery? They should go and join Yahoo and all that? Why sack them? You could not even query. We did not hear of their query. You just woke up because you're the new CBN governor, you're sacking. After 4 years or how many years, you leave the office. And then you begin to record all the activities you've done. You begin to record the harm you've done to the society. Because did you give them money? How do they survive? So I think the National Assembly have to come up with that investigation. I support the National Assembly with that investigation. It has to be carried out.
All right, well, Chief.
I think every agency has their procedure of employment and the way you terminate the contract of your employees. And then I think I remember vividly that the CBN has been on top of the news over wrongdoing. The Mifere is under investigation because of his policies and things was best for Nigerians. I think you cannot sack any person without being queried. That is the first thing. And I think also the procedure also allow for like 2 queries. And then the last one should be sacked. The HRO management worldwide cannot, either you did not commit any crime that warrant that immediate relieved of your duty. You might have committed a major crime like stealing, or you involved in fighting in the workplace. These are procedures of terminating and employee contracts that you have. Again, you can transfer them from this ministry to another ministry if you want to look at their activities. For instance, the CBN, you can transfer them to any other banks. Reduce their rank if you feel that this place they were, they are aiding any kind of corruption or any kind of secret deals that negate their contract employment letters. You can reduce their rank, you can punish them through any means. But mass sacking without any thorough explanations, it called for concern for Nigerians, because these are people that have children in schools. These are people that have families they cater for. Like a pastor will always say that once you temper with someone, you should not forget that there are those that he has been catering for them. There are thousands of souls that lived under his control, under his financial help. So once you terminate someone that did not know why it has been terminated, it calls for concern. Because actually, if you prove to them that, look, you come late to work, you are not taking your work serious, and these are why we are terminating your contract, because you don't come to work on time as agreed, you don't report as we expected, your report is wrong, look at issues you have done that we don't think keeping you will not give us any success. And every organization, their target is to achieve achieve a goal. And that goal in CBN is to ensure that the monetary policies are being implemented for the betterment of Nigerians, for the betterment of this country, not the bit of politicians. Remember, all the CBN that we have, they are either after leaving there, they are politicians. So I may also tag this as a political witch hunting to those that may have been terminated. So? Yes, because you've seen local government chairmen in some places. Once they come, they say, oh, we cannot be paying those people, they are ghost workers. If they want to allege that they are ghost workers, let them say it. So the investigation is very normal and proper. They should duly investigate the reason behind their sacking. Because except you want to employ your own kind of staff, which you think they will deliver with your own blueprints, because everybody has a way to doing its own thing. But however, they are Nigerians. What you are there for is to protect the lives of Nigerians. So once you are adding more sorrow to Nigerians, it calls for concern. It must not be me, it must not be Andy, but we are Nigerians, we are one body. I remember they are also saying that it's coming from one particular zone of this country. It's coming from one particular zone. So now it becomes a tribal issues now.
And people are already, a lot of accusations are coming in here. Some people, like Chief has said, it could be a political action or movement. But let's look at the next story now. Harmonization of the National Identification Number and Tax Identification Number have been advocated to ensure easier access to information for taxable income into the country. Now, the Minister, Honorable Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, stated in a statement in Abuja on Monday by the Director of Press and Public Relations of the Ministry, Ozoya Imohime. Tunji-Ojo made the call when the Secretary of the Joint TAP Board. All right, now they're saying merge both. Let's get to see how that plays out. I remember when they talked about another number. I can't really place it now. I remember when it was discussed and some Nigerians were saying, can't we just merge everything? Like, how many ID cards do I carry about? I'll carry this ID card, I'll carry another ID card, and now you're telling me to have another ID card. What happened to just making everything one? And they also mentioned taxation, and all of that. But let's get your thoughts, Daddy.
Which one again are they coming up with tax identification number? We have the national identification number, and we have the BVN. All of this, okay. I don't understand. And then we also have the SIM registration.
Yes.
Then all of this, what are we trying to achieve? We're trying to curb insecurity. And so far, have they analyzed how well have these been achieved? The targets, have we gotten anything tangible? If yes, why are there still phone calls and all that before even those that carry out their attacks? So it means we have to even go further in doing this. So if they are trying to merge tax identification number and then that of national identification number. How many persons have TIN number? How many? So what are you trying to accept is for a particular class of persons?
No, it can't be for a particular
class. So are we all being forced to get tax identification number?
They are trying to prevent tax evasion. And this is a move, or this is a suggestion towards preventing tax evasion.
I still insist that except this is for a particular class of persons. Will you go and meet the person who is unemployed and start giving him or her tax identification number? Why not we go into job creation? Except you want to tell us that few persons who are employed in this country should have tax identification number. And maybe are you also bringing it back to the private sector? So, except it's for a particular class of persons. Yes, I don't even see that working. Or you're going to tell those persons who are, because before you write JAMB now, you ask for your NIN number. So are you going to tell the JAMBite, those persons who just came out from secondary school, to go and also get their tax identification number?
No, of course the JAMBites will not be expected to pay tax.
You're also going back to what I said, that service for a particular class of
So
persons.
let's assume, like you have stated, that's the case.
If that's the case, you want to know everybody who is paying tax. The ones,
to pay tax,
of course, the ones we have been paying, also have we been able to hold the government responsible for it? Okay, let's merge this whole thing. Should we also merge Vivian?
Should we blame the government for our inability of holding the government accountable?
Can you hold the government accountable if the government did? Okay, go and tell Labour how much more have Labour been able to achieve in holding government accountable? So let's start from there before you talk about somebody who have not even seen food to eat. You didn't give anybody, no job, no money, and they are talking about 62,000 naira. So am I going to use my 62,000 naira to go and hold government accountable? So it means that if they want to achieve this, fine. But what I'm saying is this. For you to be able to merge NIN and TIN together, it means that you must not make it a class something. Not everybody in this country have tax identification number. So they should come up to tell us it's for a particular class of persons, not for all Nigerians. And if it's for a particular class of persons, what do you want to achieve with certain class of persons, excluding the other persons? These are the issues. Not everybody, not the school leavers, not the unemployed, do not have TIN. And you're coming up, we all have NIN. So what are we merging with TIN? I don't have TIN.
Aren't you a taxpayer?
I don't have TIN. But whether you like it or there is indirect tax, there is a direct tax. Everybody is paying tax.
Okay. All right. Let's hear from Chief. Let's hear you.
I think to harmonize this tax, government policies changes because of what they think they want to achieve. Over the years, we've been seeing that there's no data base in this country. If you can check, they issue birth certificates when we were born, and that should have carried the identity of a child that is born so place. And that identity will have also capture when you got admission into the universities. It will also capture in your database. You just click. I have a friend of mine that traveled to one country. He was working somewhere else in one of the oil firms. He committed an offense. He refused to tag out from a particular country where he was working, and he never knew it as an offense. So when he got back, he was going to Europe. Once they clock his name, I was alarmed. I rang there that this person evicted tax in so place.
Wow.
And they had him there. They had him there because they have a database system that is monitored. Like now, even though you merge the two, we will still be at the same place. I would have preferred that they merge it and they have a unified system so that nobody will evade tax. Remember,
that's what they're saying. Yes, we're going to have one number.
One number.
Instead of having TI.
Fine, beautiful, beautiful. He also mention of foreigners coming here and not paying tax. So if you are going after foreigners that is evading tax in this country, and you make it open. You make it open because some foreigners will just come, they will evade a lot of things, they will not pay tax. And they will be doing our jobs here, the job that we're supposed to be doing. They will be doing our job. At the end of the day, they will give them what we call tax evasions. They will give them tax, different names that they will not pay tax. So if they want to monitor how they are not inability of the board You know, the tax board, the inability for them to do their job effectively is not about merging this thing that is making people not to pay tax. It's not. So if they want to merge it and say that if you merge it, that people will start paying tax. For me, the only happiness I have is that it will reduce me cracking brain every time. Because my TIN number, if you ask me to give you my TIN number, now I have a TIN number. If you ask me to give you my TIN number, I didn't have it half offhand. Then I will copy my TIN number, I will copy my NIN, you know,
BVN.
you copy your BVN, all that is delaying process of transactions, is delaying our people, delaying businesses. So the best way, if you have a unified tax system, a unified number, that will be better for all of us.
You're in support of this?
No, I'm in support of it. If that is not targeted at a particular group of people, because the statement should not be generalized. They visited the minister. The minister has come up with his own opinion. You know, this thing will still need to go back to the National Assembly to look at it, because it does not have the also power to say I'm changing it. He's suggesting it, and this suggestion is a good one.
Okay, Dandy, let's get your thoughts on that now. Chief has told us it's a good suggestion. He has spoken as a Nigerian. It's going to help him ease the stress of carrying different numbers up and down and having this and having that. You also stated it during your explanation.
Yes. And I repeat again, this harmonization, it's not a bad thing. You want to harmonize NIN, harmonize TIN, even BVN, it's not a bad thing. But my point here is, are you sure? Because it was not stated. This is being targeted at a category of, a special category of persons.
Is there a problem with that?
The problem is that, why are you doing it for a particular category of persons? And you're not saying it. You're not making it open. How come it is not involving everybody? The point is, the minister should have also made it open. Oh, this tax and TIN is for a particular category of persons, those who are working and those who are earning salary, those who have TIN. Or because except you want to go back to the era of how we got TIN. But then everybody go back and start getting your TIN number. And in doing that, we have left seeking for employment, creating job opportunities for the people. So if you want to merge this, it's for a particular category of persons.
But do you see...
Generalize it.
Okay, they should generalize
That
it.
is my point. Make it like let it not be a particular category of persons. Why the other persons who do not have TIN are excluded from it? What are you merging?
Let's not forget the reason for this. I already stated it earlier. To prevent tax evasion. So if you're saying they should make it for everybody, that means you're saying everybody should get involved.
That is
in paying tax, both the students, like you said, you mentioned the jambites, the WAEC holders, and all of those people who are not working yet.
If we go back to taxation, who are those who are supposed to pay tax in this country? Direct and indirect tax. When you go to direct tax, every salary is supposed to pay tax. Whether you like it or not, the government collect the tax. Private sectors pay tax, is it not? Then there are also indirect tax. But the point here is that that was not specified. Are you taking off TIN number for those who are paying tax as workers? If you're targeting workers, good. If you're targeting foreigners like Chief has mentioned, make it open. But the situation where you say you want to merge, you did not explain the categories of persons you want to capture and what you want to achieve. My point is, why make it look like it has to be a national issue? Have you also considered the consequences of it?
What are the consequences?
One, if I don't have a job, I'm not paying a direct tax. So how do I get my TIN number? Am I also included? So you're working and the other person is not working. Are you saying you're targeting those who are employed, excluding those who are unemployed? I'm not talking about job generation.
And now you mentioned the first time you made your analysis, you mentioned the fact that Nigerians are not holding the government responsible, and that could be one of the reasons some people are evading tax, because they feel the tax I'm paying, I can't see it enough, right? So do you see that as a problem that should also be addressed?
Yeah, I also think tax evasion is a crime, but most of the times it's also been applicable to the private firms. And in as much as you hold those private firms accountable, In which area are the private firm holding government accountable for not being able to provide electricity, for not being able to provide security? So, in as much as the government will hold people accountable for not being able to pay tax, there should be a room for the people to also hold government accountable.
But is there
not being able to use the tax judiciously?
Is there no room for the people to hold the government accountable at all?
I think the only power we have is our voting right. You know, when we choose not to vote you because you did not perform up to our expectations. That is the only way the public has power. It's our voting right.
That's what. Is that not just an ideology that the public has? Yeah. That the only way they have the power to hold the government accountable is only during elections?
That is the means of changing government.
Are there no other ways the government, the people can hold the government accountable?
It's true.
Of course, there are other ways.
And the other ways is still advocacy, just like we are doing here. The government are listening. They are taking notice of what we are saying here, and they are saying their areas that we are not doing well. Can you unseat them by what means? You can't unseat them by any means, except through advocacy like we are doing. We are not calling for any revolutions. We cannot just call for a protest. We cannot just get up and say, oh, because we don't like your policies. The only way I think that legitimately way, I think, is our voting right, that we can change any government. Just like what happened in Ghana. You see the response from the outgoing president. You see what he was saying, that he has failed and all that. Can we have that in Nigeria?
Yes, come in.
Then apart from that, you see, we're struggling now to also know where the people have rights. And it's not supposed to be so. And that's why I say the government must have to create the room for people's rights. To make them, okay, there was this issue of freedom of information bill that was signed. How effective is it? The masses have the right. If I've mentioned that it's only during voting. Okay, let's say even the voting. The right is almost been taken away. Because you begin to see a picture that looks like mass rigging. That's also on the other side. On protests. Ordinarily, we're supposed to protest when we don't even like the issue. But it's also almost being taken away. Go out there and protest. And then, if somebody who have not even eaten, can you even go out to protest? That's on that side. Strike. The issue of strike. How effective have we been carrying on that? So when you look at this whole thing, you find out that even the government is also making it not easy for the masses to air out their view, to cry out. So there must be this opportunity. If I'm paying tax, I should also have the opportunity, the ability to ask the government, what have you done with the tax I paid? And the government cannot explain, then I should hold the government accountable. If I cannot hold the government accountable, if I cannot do anything until election period when I'm not even sure my vote is being counted, then the scenario is an ugly one.
So there are many other things that need to be looked at when we talk about tax evasion and the reasons for tax evasion. Let's take a look at the next story now. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has refuted media reports alleging that it inflated the fuel subsidy payment by 3.3 trillion naira. A report claimed that a forensic audit conducted by a global accounting firm had uncovered a significant discrepancy in the fuel subsidy claims made by the National Oil Company. According to reports, the audit reveals that NNPCL inflated its fuel subsidy claims by a staggering 3.3 trillion naira. The audit, which will cover 2015 to 2021, aims to verify the authenticity of the subsidy claims. The report comes several months after the NNPCL Group CEO Melekari claimed that the federal government still owed NNPCL 2.8 trillion naira for petrol subsidy payment, which the company had covered from its cash flow. However, in a statement on Monday by its Chief Corporate Communications Officer Olufemi Sonoye, the NNPCL said that it has never inflated its subsidy claims with the federal government. The National Oil Company also said all its previous subsidy claims are verifiable, saying that all relevant records and documents have been sent to relevant authorities and agencies for audit. So, we are as transparent as we should be. The claims by the media are not true, and we are coming out to actually distort that claim. All right, they're saying it is not right and it is not true. Well, Chief, let's hear you.
I think the cry of Nigerians, I think one day God will answer our cry.
You're sounding like some of those Nigerians who are tired of speaking.
Yes, because Mele Kelly will be coming out with statement, if you like, to feed Nigerians without any evidence, without any facts, portraying his evidence. You see that an auditing firm has carried out an auditing job from 2015 to 2021. And they are giving you report, an independent report that look at what we saw. 3.3 trillion was inflicted. Imagine that kind of amount of money. And nobody want to look at, to investigate more. This is a job of EFCC, like I will keep saying. Once you gather information like this, you swing into actions. You start investigating who is saying the right thing and who is lying to Nigerians. Like in this case now, the company that is saying this amount of money was inflicted, they need to present their facts. And they are also saying that government is owing 2.3 trillion naira. They have to show your facts. And the anti-graft agency need to come in, because I think these are the sole responsibility of anti-graft agency to come into things like this, because every day we'll be hearing about this fuel subsidy payments, and these are money that's supposed to be used for the development of this country. And that you keep inflating it, and you are telling the federal government that they are owing this amount of money. And I keep asking myself, now that the place is a complaint liability company, it's limited now, controlled by the Mele Kelly. I think the federal government need to look inward and see those that are giving them this report, how well have they managed this thing over the years. I may not call for the replacements of that place, but I think the anti-graft agency need to investigate those that are responsible for all this. That is my own concern, because we cannot be getting up every day. You just hear about trillions of naira. Where is the money? Where you hear about trillions of naira, or that this one is claiming government is owing, and you are saying that you inflate this. So it calls for a major concern for me. And I also thank the firm, the auditing firm, that thoroughly done the job by ensuring that we know this. Ordinarily, between me and you, we cannot just get up and know that things like this was going on. And look at the time they got, the time involved, the time frame involved in the research job they did, in the auditing job they did. It's not just 1 month things. They must have taken the data, analyze it, and see that these are the cost of they inflate this price for subsidy. Now that subsidy has been removed, you know. Now that subsidy has been removed, the evidence is showing on Nigerians that actually the subsidy has been removed. In kind of massive development that Nigerians thought, if we remove the subsidy, the money will be paid back to the society. We will see massive infrastructure, not multiple jobs, not giving the same contract in another terms. You have not finished one project, you are giving another elephant project. You have not finished East-West Road, you are giving another Lagos, Calabar, contraring with the amount of trillions of naira, which I don't think it is realistic we can realize this project within the 3 years remaining of this current administration. I'm not seeing the visibility of that coming through. So if this money will be taken back to what we are doing, we are talking about living wage of Nigerians. You know, if the money can translate in the living wage of Nigerians, I think the minimum wage that we are talking about now will be things of, because the minimum wage did not cover every sector in this country. There are those that are unemployed, you know, and they don't have any hope of getting any wage at the end of the month. So if you make the society better for everybody, even though you are not working, you can be doing business, you can be involved in other things that will keep life going. This money can be channeled in every sector. School, the cost of living, the cost of the educational sector, you look at the money involved. Parents cannot afford it. At the end of the day, you see those children still remain stagnant at the same level. So it calls for concern. They should investigate the people involved in that firm, because a lot of corruption that is ongoing in that petroleum sector.
All right, so let's hear you, Dandy.
Okay, obviously that was a corruption case that is being, should I say, perpetrated in NNPC. That's just the clear fact. NNPC, they are trying to deny, these other persons are trying to allege and all that. It just shows that corruption. And look at the money they are even mentioning. 3 points, 2 points, 3 million naira. Did you know it took Nigeria the time of former president, what's it called, Muhammad Buhari, for us to even get Nigerian budget to trillion. And a particular firm is telling us that they inflated, or they inflated. Then the other persons are even saying, no, we did not, you're owing us. I don't imagine. You know, that brings me back to what happened in the NDDC, where somebody said, off the mic, and they were trying to say it. And now, at the time, this whole thing has been happening under, now they are coming to the media to deny. After now, you won't hear about it. We've not heard about that of NDDC till now. You won't hear about it. So what is happening there is that there's so much corruption going on within the NNPCL. That's what they are revealing. So who are the persons taking this money? Who are those? Or they are throwing into the national, what's it called, national treasury? Few, I don't understand what's going on.
This is still an allegation.
This is even much more than state budgets. More than state budget. Yet, this sector is, what are they contributing? Go to communities, go and see what's happening. I don't understand how a particular set in this country is alleging, denying. One is alleging 3 points. How many trillion naira? This other is denying and saying you're owing us 2 points. 8 trillion naira. All has to do with corruption within that sector. And it's high time the government has to look into what's happening.
So what do you expect the government to do right now in looking into it and putting an end to corruption in some of these agencies that we have in Nigeria?
The government, we have the EFCC. They have to go, in fact, they have to be thorough. In this kind of issue, anybody can bribe anybody with that kind of money.
Yeah, of course.
And then the issue will die. So they should avoid whatever thing that will make anybody to be bribed in getting to the root of this matter. For crying out loud, the government is borrowing. And the money is being toiled somewhere. Somebody is sinking money somewhere. And we say we don't have money. Unemployment is ravaging this country. In fact, the governors have even come out to say we won't be able to pay 62,000 naira. And somebody is busy saying you inflated to 3.3 trillion. And this other one is saying you're owing. Okay, when will Nigeria pay 2 points? 8 trillion naira, and then begin to go into projects. If how many projects have been mentioned, which one have been able to amount to even 5 billion, 500 billion? Not to talk about a particular firm is saying you're owing us this amount. The government should go, in fact, if it would take the government to dissolve that parastatal and start from beginning, to begin to know what's coming out from that place, begin to know the impacts. The government have to look into what is happening in NNPC.
What happened before now? That now will be suggesting that the government should start all over again and begin to look into it so deeply. Were there not provisions for the government to look deeply into it before now?
For crying out loud, what they are even alleging is what happened between 2015 to 2021. So should we continue from 2024 to 2030? Before we now go back and start digging what's happening in that place?
Subsidy is no longer being paid, actually.
Are we how? Okay, thank God they are not even talking about subsidy. They are talking about the past ones. What happened in the past ones. So it means that there is a corruption activities, or there are so much more corruption going on in that agency. So the government should not fold its arms.
Let's assume, okay, even though this is still an allegation now, right? For this kind of report to be coming out from different agencies, let's assume now, all the agencies that corruption have been, it begs the question, what happened to the provision of checks and balances in all of these agencies? Were these agencies allowed to just run itself, without anybody checking the activities, without anybody looking to find out what is going on, and then we come out and say the government should look deeper and make the investment. What happened to doing the things that were supposed to have been done before now? Why is that lacking sometimes? Why does it look like it's lacking in some of our agencies where we get reports like this?
Leadership. Leadership, one. If I'm a leader and I don't even see fighting corruption as something that is necessary, those activities will run smoothly. In fact, currently look at what they are alleging until the court has even proven him guilty, that Emefiele took away from the CBN. That has been alleged. That's the one we're hearing. So will you say there were no lead? Will they have presidents? Will they have people who were on seats? How come it's coming out now? Look at what happened in the case of Dasuki. Did we not have presidents? And all that. So somebody must take this war up.
All right, let's look at the last story now. Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service, Bashiru Adewale Adeni, has said Nigeria is losing billions of naira to fuel smuggling epidemic. Adeni disclosed this during a press briefing in Yola, Adamawa State capital, on Monday. He said illicit trade fueled by a significant price disparity between Nigeria and its neighbors has reached crisis proportion. The situation is there. Smugglers are exploiting the price difference to reap huge profit, depriving the nation of much-needed revenue, he said. And he said to check the menace, Customs launched Operation Whirlwind, seizing over 150,950 liters of premium motor spirit valued at 105.9 million naira in just 2 weeks. However, he acknowledged that the seizure was a fraction of the illegal trade's estimated billions, and the consequences of inaction are severe. Adeni has warned, if left unchecked, this epidemic will further deplete our foreign exchange reserves and exacerbate economic challenges and fund illegitimate activities. The custom boss has vowed to do something about it. Yes, Royal Chief.
I think for me, you need to question the custom boss for not doing enough for Nigerians. He has a mandate, he has a responsibility of ensuring that our boundary neighbors, you know, they don't bring things, like you cannot take things out of Nigeria through any border illegally. That is the core duty of the custom services. And now you are telling us your inability to do your job has also affected the economy of Nigeria. And look at the huge amount he also mentioning. You are also blaming yourself. So you need to be correct to start with. Where were you? All the men you deploy, are they also be collecting bribe and allow these illicit activities to be going out at our borders? How safe is our border as he's talking like this? It's also discouraging investors to come into our country because, like as we are talking about, that there is no protections. There is no checks and balancing within the things that are moving out of this country and coming in. Our import and export activities are not being properly monitored. And this is the sole responsibility of this man that is also trying to make a point that, look, this amount of money has been taken away from Nigeria due to illegal export of our product, which is petroleum product. You get? Now, my question will be like, where are your men? Where were you?
All right. Yes, let's hear from you, Dandy.
Okay, what is he telling us? The custom boss is telling us, so we'll go and carry arm and then start fighting. He should go and do his job. It's his job. There should be no media. What we want to hear is that, of course, he said this was what he got and all that. And you're telling us Nigerians are losing billions through such activities. We agree. Custom boss, that's why you have that.
And he has said he's going to
Please, he should
continue.
do it. Why is he even telling us now that he shouldn't continue? He should tell us that he should start giving us results. He should start giving results.
That are being taken.
Yes, I think he needs to do his work. That's all I can say about that.
And that's the voice of Dandy Lofty. Thank you so much for your thoughts on the show today.
Thank you for
We appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
And we also appreciate Chief. Thank you so much, if not Magnus Edo, for joining us today.
Yes, my royal blessing to everybody.
All right, thank you. And this is where we get to wrap things up on this episode of Blowout. Thank you so much. We most thank you for being a part of this conversation. But don't forget, when it comes to social media, we are everywhere. Stay connected with us on ATN Socials, on Facebook and YouTube, at Atlantic Television Network on Instagram and TikTok at Atlantic TV Network 1, on X at Atlantic TV Net, and don't forget to watch us live on our website at www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you once again for watching. I am Enidoye Jackson. Coming up next is Open Conversation. Please stay with us.